What is up, guys? Let's talk about elbow pads. So I feel like if you're looking for elbow pads, you want one of two things, or maybe both, but definitely protection from diving is one, so your elbow and like forearm aren't getting all scraped up when you're diving. And the other one, protection from getting shot, right? And you might want both, but let's go over some pads that are probably better for really aggressive players that dive a lot, or people that don't dive and just want a little protection. So here's some of the elbow pads on the market. This isn't all of them, but these are, we'll say, at least the 6 most popular. We have the HK Army hardline pad, the GI Sports elbow pad, the Exalt reflex elbow pads, the Dye performance elbow pad, the Empire Neoskin elbow pads, and the Eclipse Core HD elbow pads. And for the most part, I mean, price doesn't range all that much. I think the most expensive ones, I don't know, are like 60 bucks up here anyway, and then the least expensive ones are like 55. So prices don't vary all that much. So there's not one that's like a way better deal. Yeah, the prices are all going to be about the same. So when I've talked to people about elbow pads in the past, they kind of like to figure out what they're going to do with it. Like me, I don't dive all that much, so having a pad that's super durable and extremely padded doesn't matter to me so much. I just want it to be comfortable and breathable, so when it's hot outside, my arms aren't suffocating. So let's talk about first pads that would work good for people that are aggressive. So I like, for aggressive snake players or front players or whatever, let's say 3 kinds for sure. I really like the dye pads. The dye pads have that pad that goes over your forearm for some reason. But they're made really well and they tend to last long. Like I had these things for a very long time. And on the actual elbow part right there, they're very durable. So if you do wear them with like short sleeve shirts and stuff, they tend to hold up for a pretty good amount of time and they're not dying and ripping really fast. So yeah, I like the dye performance elbow pads for front players. What else? Also, say the GI ones. The GI ones are also very padded. They have that big, huge elbow cup. So there's tons of padding on the forearm and the elbow. The GI ones are probably the most padded. So if you notice that if you play a lot and you have some other pad, your arms are sore after the end of the day from diving, maybe look at the GI pads because they're definitely going to have more padding than most of the other elbow pads. What else? Front player pads. My favorite, though, out of all these elbow pads, like in production right now, are the Exalt Reflex ones. For 2 reasons, really. They're very lightweight on the back, so they breathe really well. Padding's about average. They're going to be somewhat similar to the dye ones, but they're lighter weight. They're definitely lighter. So they're, to me, more comfortable and more breathable. There's also the HK Army like hardline pad that like seem really durable. I mean, the pads are pretty stiff though. They do have that like really rough pad backing part that actually meets the ground. But I think in the long run, these have not been so durable. I know I've seen a lot of people rip off the hand part and just, they're not as durable. I don't think they rip that easy. It's just the stitching comes off. So I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the hardline pad because of that reason. My second favorite being the Planet Eclipse Core HD pad. So these do have a lot of padding, unlike the Neoskin ones. But we've noticed that over time, this back pad part where your elbow is actually making contact with the ground, and there's a lot of friction, whether you're wearing short sleeve or long sleeve jerseys, they do tend to kind of rip over time and not take wear so well. So I think they work better and will last longer for guys that aren't diving as much. So I like Core HD and Empire Neoskin for people who aren't diving and sliding as much. For the most part, a lot of these elbow pads are also coming with like hand protection things that have a little bit of padding on the back of the hand, so if you get shot in the hand, it's not going to hurt as much. As well as a little bit of protection on the palm. So if you're not wearing gloves, there is a little bit of hand protection so that if you're diving or crawling around, you won't get cut or scraped as much. And there's like 2 of those that really stand out that are better. One of them for sure is the dye one, so they have that like padding on the back of the hand right there, as well as the palm area is made really well and covers like my whole palm. So let's say if we put this on, we can show you how much area it actually covers. So my whole like palm really on that thing is covered. And say if we put like compare this to like the reflex one, a pad that I really like, but doesn't have a ton of like palm protection. It's not going to be as nearly as much as like the dye pad. So like when I put that on, there's a difference, right? It's not massive, but a lot of my upper palm area is showing. So this is really tight. I don't know what size this is. It was kind of hard to put on. There we go. There's also the GI pads. Just like the dye pads are going to have that padding on the back for protection, as well as cover all your palm. So I put this on. It covers my whole palm. So hand protection wise, out of all the pads, I like the dye ones and GI. So I guess we could talk about fit also. So I've also found that for me, I don't dive that much. So size isn't critical. I like that I can go up a size really. So I wear a size that's probably too big, but that's okay. So if I put this back on, there's some room in this, right? There's a little bit of give. It's definitely not tight on my like bicep, but that doesn't matter because I'm not diving all that much. So the pad's never really moving around. But I do think that if you're diving a lot, it's important to probably get a pad that fits a little bit snug, just like I had this thing on, right? So it fits a little bit more snug, so that if I do dive, it's probably not going to shift around as much. But it's also kind of a weird thing. So if you're wearing these hand things and you dive forward, even if the pad is loose, it's not going to really go anywhere. It can't like go up further. If anything, you think these pads are going to slide down. But I don't think that happens that much because we're not like sliding backwards. Most of the time you're going forward, and the pad ends up like creeping up, if anything. So yeah, getting a pair if you're diving a lot that are snug so they don't move, or if you don't dive, it doesn't really matter. You can go up a size and maybe it's a little more comfortable and a little bit, I don't know, more comfortable if it's bigger. So that's elbow pads, guys. If you have more pad questions, leave a comment below, hit the like button, or if you have more questions or want to watch more like tip advice videos, hit that rectangular button, the Paintball Ruin My Life store in the square one, and the circle button to subscribe.